Well, happy Wednesday. Deweese, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Hanging in there, Steve?
Just moved to Tillamook, Oregon, living the dream. It's a paradise out here. Gonna free
You
fly
are.
in September and motor here in about a month.
Yep, you are in a beautiful area. So, well, a lot of you guys are wondering why I am here and Jade is not. Um, with heavy hearts, I want to kind of tell you what happened with Jade. She was in a paramotor accident, and don't really want to go into too many details, but it was not anything to do with her piloting skills. She ended up taking off and climbing about 20 feet above tree level, and then going into a right hand nose down spiral that she was unable to recover from. Um, she, I was there at the accident scene about a minute after it happened, and she was awake and she knew what was happening, but in a lot of pain. Um, we were able to get the trike taken apart before the emergency got there and airlifted her down to the hospital. So what happened to Jade? She, on her left leg, she broke both bones off of her ankle and broke some toes, and also broke her left hip and dislocated her left leg. On the right hand leg, she broke the bone just above the artificial knee that she had put in last year at this time. Then she also had some lacerations on her liver and her kidney. Um, she had some broken ribs, punctured lung, and
Brain bleed.
a brain bleed. She hit her cheek on one of the roll bars and got a couple cuts. So as of right now, the cuts are stitched, and they're not concerned about the brain bleed and the lungs, the hole in the lung. Um, that's doing pretty good. 5 minutes before she went into surgery today, she was on the computer setting up this show. So that's how dedicated she has been for you guys.
She's
You
in
know,
the chat.
She's in the chat. That is Jay talking. Um, she had surgery today, and it was about 3 hours long to fix the hip that was broken in two places and put the ball back in the socket of her leg. And then they did some more work on her left ankle because that is in really bad shape. Today was the second surgery for her to get that fixed. She will have one more surgery on her ankle, and that'll be next week to get that taken care of. The questions that I always have is, what is our outcome? And our outcome is it's going to be a long recovery for her, but it's almost looking like it's going to be almost a perfect outcome for her. And maybe her knee will work better than it did before this all happened. So that's looking good, but it's going to be about 3 months in a wheelchair. She's going to have to go to a rehab home and stay there for a couple weeks maybe to learn how to, get around. So I have been with her ever since this happened as much as I can. She's in ICU because she has a fever and low blood pressure. They kick me out at 6 p.m. and then they allow me back in at 8. So as far as like things like memory, she remembers absolutely everything except my name and that she was married. So I think that was something, I don't know about that. But overall, I got to hand it to the girls and the guys in the paramotor community of reaching out. We didn't tell a lot of people only because we didn't want to say anything until we really found out what the problem was and what caused this. So, and we just figured this out recently because Jade does run cameras and videos, and we're able to see what actually happened. I'm not going to go into what happened, but Jade did an excellent job of piloting her trike all the way to the ground, even though it was a nose down. If she was doing foot launch, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So the support of you guys reaching out to her is really keeping her going. So please don't stop. If you guys need a number to reach out to her, contact me through Facebook, Messenger, or text me or whatever. If you don't have her number, I'll give it to you so you guys can reach out, because she really needs that. She won't be able to answer right away because she is on some pretty good pain meds that she will not share. We've tried. So it's something that she really needs is you guys. So please just, keep her in her prayers. We love you guys. She works hard on these Tuesday or Wednesday nights to do this for you guys. And she's always done videos of people that have passed in the paramotor community to give them their, 5 minutes of fame. And this is when she needs it. So please reach out to her and talk to her. Give her some good spirits, because I know she loves all of you guys. So I'm going to say thank you for your support. I'm going to hand this over to Deweese and Steve. I got one more thing. I do the events. So the people that are at the 3 fly-ins that are going on right now, the Fly It for Gage, the Corn Buzzards, and Frogtown, guys fly safe. We want everybody to enjoy themselves, and hope you all have successful fly-ins that are 100% safe. So, and I want to also thank Dan that was with me out at the airport when this all happened, because I was just telling Jade, hey, let's just get in a truck. We'll go home, put some Band-Aids on it. He's like, dude, you need to call 911. I wasn't thinking right. When it happened so close to home, it's pretty tough to make the proper decisions, and he was helping me make the good decision. So thanks, Dan. But all right, guys, it's all you. I'm out. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks for updating us. Yeah, I hate to hear that. Jade's done so much for us and built a community and brought us together as a family and a support. And it's all about getting, us just regular folk together and getting us a family and support each other. You don't have to be doing acrobatics in the air or doing something.
No, she never does any of that. No,
it's just if you
want
to hang out and you want to be involved, that's what makes you special. And she's going to need that support from us, especially, that's going to make anybody pretty depressed, even well into recovery and thinking about possibly giving up flying. And but we need to be here for her.
She needs it. So everybody keep contacting her and keep in touch. Don't give up on her.
Yeah.
All right. So our guest.
Huh? You want to take it?
Well, I'll just bring him in. Everybody knows and loves Ron Toran. So here he is.
Hey there. How you guys doing?
Doing great, Ron. How are you doing?
Good. I know Jade's listening in, so wish you a speedy recovery. Also want to know, how large a motor and wing do you need for the wheelchair?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Just take a 185.
There you go. We'll get her up and flying. But we wish you the speediest of recoveries.
I'm sure she appreciates that.
Yeah.
So if you haven't met Ron, he runs a paramotor school in San Antonio, Texas called Lone Star Paramotor. And he's been doing this for quite some time and teaching. And he's pretty cool because he also comes from an education background. And he had a personal experience starting out that really shaped his teaching. And for me, I've met him many times, and I really see his passion for teaching and other people and how it bleeds into his instructors. It's really a place that doesn't seem like you have to be talented or they want their star child or money or whatnot. you see so many people come in that they're struggling and whatnot, and they really do everything they can and really set people up for success. So really wanted to start off, Ron, with how you got into this, because I know your initial experience kind of shaped you wanting to be a good teacher.
Yeah, I was a school teacher, elementary school teacher for 25 years, teaching second grade. So I got into paramotoring about 10 years, a little over 10 years ago. And for me, it was kind of a midlife crisis. Turned 50, got divorced, and didn't have a wife telling me that I couldn't fly. So I got into it the cheapest way I could with paramotors, but I had really poor training to begin with. So after only a couple of flights, the instructor left and said, "You're on your own and fly as much as you can." So I kind of checked around other schools, other instructors, and realized that these guys were great pilots, but not necessarily good teachers. So that's how Lone Star ultimately came to be.
And what year was that when you really started teaching?
2017 was the first year that I started. I was still teaching second grade at the time. So it started as a part-time gig for me, teaching over spring break and summer vacation and Christmas break. And then I retired in 2018 to run Lone Star full-time.
And you're one of few instructor administrators with the USPPA, and instructor administrators, they certify other instructors to be USPPA certified. When did you take on that role?
Yeah, so there are a handful of instructor administrators, and we give tandem ratings as well as instructor ratings. And that was a couple of years ago at Endless Foot Drag. I helped run a tandem and instructor clinic along with Chad Bastian and with Paul Cooley at Mad City Paramotor. And I've been an instructor administrator since then. So we teach about 75 to 100 pilots a year at Lone Star, and we teach about a dozen or so instructors as well.
Let's see. I saw a question. Chris Gwynn says, "Ron, what part of San Antonio do you have? Where do you have your school? I lived off of Marbeck for a few years. I'd like to visit and fly."
Yeah, we're just north of San Antonio in Garden Ridge. It's Kitty Hawk Flying Field, which is a small ultralight private air park. TS67, if you look it up on Google, but just north of San Antonio in Garden Ridge.
Okay.
How many instructors do you have out there working with you?
I'm sorry, Steve?
How many instructors do you have out there working for you?
Yeah, we have a bunch. I wanted to make sure that I named them all, but we've got Travis Landry. He's been with me for about 4 years, and he's my main instructor. Rain Vela does all of she's an incredible instructor and does all of our social media. She's also on the other side of the laptop, making sure this all goes right tonight.
You can flip her off for me.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. We've got Mark George, Roy Kiger, Bob Lindner, Guy Cox, Jay Land, Emil Keinel, I think, Tommy Roberts, Mark Perry, Kevin Basang, Marvin Suchi, Frank Turner, Dustin Newcomb. So we've got a bunch. I think we've got about 11 at the moment. Some of these other guys are hangar mates of ours. But we've got a large flying community down in the San Antonio area.
That is a pretty big community. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. All of these folks have other jobs, full-time jobs. Travis has a welding company up in Bastrop, and Rain is a cosmetologist. So they all have full-time jobs, but they take off 10 days a month to come down and help train students at Lone Star.
Nice. Luis, do you got any questions from the chat?
I'm checking it out right now. Well, I was going to ask anyway. Don't you fly an ultralight?
Yes, I've been flying paramotors for a little over 10 years. And about 2 years ago, I got into flying fixed wing ultralights and have owned and flown and unfortunately crashed a couple of those in the last couple of years, but it's all good. It's a different kind of flying than paramotors.
Yeah. If you were, I'm still checking these.
When
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, Louise. When
Like you have
tell me
right
about like the variety of different students that you've come in. Like some people just pick it up naturally. Some people really struggle with various things. Have you found that having different personalities on your team helps, or has it kind of opened up your mind, or you used your past education experience to really break through to people and help them?
Yeah, we rotate instructors a lot to make sure that the students have a chance to interact with a bunch of different ones. They naturally find one that speaks their language, and often ask, "Hey, can I have Rain launch me?" or "Is Travis available for this flight?" or something like that. So, yeah, a huge range of skills when we start classes. And we do a 10-day program, and most students get done in 10 days, and they're ready to fly confidently on their own. We've got others that are coming back up to 6 months to a year later to get in additional flights because they don't progress as quickly. And that's fine too.
There's a question in here about cloud vaporizing. Jade wants to know.
that probably came from Kramer.
Yeah. It did.
Yeah. So we were bored one day at Kitty Hawk, and I taught Kramer how to vaporize clouds, how to make little wispy clouds disappear in front of your eyes. So she was rather amazed by that and got pretty good at it too.
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
have to ask Kramer next time she's on here. She's much more entertaining than I am.
Oh,
Angie was just telling me about that, and I thought she was talking about cloud seeding, and she's like, "No, you just stare at the clouds." I'm like,
"Yeah, pretty much cloud vaporization." Yeah.
Paratrav says Ron taught me to vaporize clouds. Sounds strange, but it works.
There you go. You don't make the clouds go away. You make the sky come in front of the clouds.
Oh, is that what it is? I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
With all the students that you get in, what do you think your success rate is for like ones that just go on to be continual flyers that'll fly at least once a month?
Yeah, so we've actually tracked this. We usually, a full class for us is 6 students a month, right, in 10 days. But between the classes, we retrain other school students, give tandem rides, things like that. But out of a class of 6, 3 of them will go ahead, half of them will go ahead and purchase equipment because they haven't scared themselves to death during training or broke a lot of gear, right? A year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, about 70% of our students are still flying.
Oh,
That's pretty decent. Yeah,
it is. We've got 5,000 to 6,000 active pilots in the U.S., and that hasn't changed over the last 5 years or so. There are a lot more schools, a lot more instructors every year, but a lot of not terrific instruction. People graduate with a couple of flights, don't feel comfortable, and sell their gear immediately. So we'd rather have them in for the long haul. And so about 70% of our pilots are still flying 5 years later.
Yeah, I know if I didn't have my local community starting out, I would have been just another number.
Right. You get all your gear, right? You go back home, and now you've got your first true solo flight when you don't have your instructor in your ear. And that's totally different. So, if you don't have a local flying community, it makes it so much more difficult.
Lift Paramotor wants to know, how do you guys do ground school? Did you create a slideshow or anything?
Yeah, so we've got an extensive ground school. We probably have about 30 hours of ground school. And what we basically did was take the USPPA syllabus and break it down into manageable chunks. So one day is a ground school on wing design, and we'll study about wings and all of the parts and their functions, and we'll learn about wing detangling. Another day we'll do FAR 103, another day is weather, another day is airspace. And we've got PowerPoint presentations with embedded videos for all of these. So I was giving a safety ground school today. It's about 4 hours long with embedded videos of the most likely incidences that would occur in flight, how to fix them, and more importantly, how to make sure you don't get in that spot in the first place. So, yeah.
Mad Sloper says, has Ron ever done free flight? And does he tow students up for their first flights?
Yeah, so we used to tow students up for their first flights, and we may get back into that now that I've got a much larger field to do it. But we've had several students who got injured on the tow line. And for me, that's the sketchiest part of the training. Last guy broke his ankle. So he got 15, 20 feet off the ground and was giving too much brake pressure. By that time, I had already shut down the tow line, and the instructor told him hands high. So he put one hand high, buried the other one, and spiraled down into the ground from about 15 feet and snapped his ankle. So things happen so quickly on a tow line that I removed it for safety reasons. Now, having said that, it's a great tool for practicing takeoffs and landings, right? So we actually have a virtual reality paramotor simulator that we're now using for that. So students can climb into that with the goggles on and fly over our airport, practice takeoffs and landings in a much safer environment.
And practice firing missiles too and stuff.
Well,
like that.
yeah, there is a desert combat LZ where you can fire
It's
missiles.
very important. You got to know how to defend yourself in the air. Otherwise,
Absolutely. Yeah. Free flying, yes. I tried that for the first time this year, actually. Went down to Medellin, Colombia, and wanted to go and free fly down there. I got a chance to tandem, and then the weather turned crappy, so I never got a chance to go solo, but incredible experience. In fact, there's
you've only done tandem down there?
Yes, only done tandem down there. Right. So, yeah, but loved it and want to do some more free flying. Yeah.
That's cool. So when I beat you to free flying, that's going to really stroke my ego.
Absolutely.
Even worse than it already is.
Yeah. You can teach me. How about that, Steve?
Right.
Yeah.
So I've seen a couple like very strong opinionated people, and whether they're right or wrong, this is why I'm going to ask the question, but a couple of people seem to think that instructors should definitely have SIV clinics under their belt and some other, you name it, to make them qualified. While there's another school of thought that we're teaching the basics. We're not teaching you to be a race car driver right off the bat.
Yeah.
Do you have an opinion on that?
Sure. Stephen J. Hawkins was a great teacher, but he couldn't walk, right? It doesn't matter physically what you've done or what you can do. SIV course is wonderful. However, I don't think it's necessary to be an instructor. You're right. We're teaching people to fly, and they're in very benign situations where they're not going to take asymmetric collapses or know how to, or have to know how to get out of situations. However, we have all of our motors have reserve parachutes on them. We hoist folks up in the air on an electric lift. We practice throwing dummy reserve chutes so they understand exactly what to do and how to do it. And we did have one student who ended up upside down, gift wrapped in his wing about 1,500 feet above Galveston, and remembered his training and got his reserve out in time. To me, that's more important than SIV training.
Right.
Tell us about some of your other adventures.
Yeah. So last year, for the first time, I left the country to go and fly elsewhere, and flew free flight in Medellin, but also went down to the beaches in Cartagena to fly paramotors down there, which was pretty incredible. And got a wonderful opportunity to fly around the pyramids in Egypt last summer as well. So that was a trip of a lifetime.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
I think I saw some pictures of that on Facebook.
Yeah, I saw that too. What was your immediate feelings being able to do that?
It was surreal. I've loved ancient civilizations. I'm a history nerd, right? So to me, that's one of the places that I've always wanted to visit, and to get a chance to get within 20 or 30 feet right over the top of them I was pinching myself, right? But incredible adventure.
What kind of adventure would you like to go on in the future?
Yeah, okay. There are lots of places I haven't flown before. That was the first taste of flying out of the country, and Iceland would be wonderful. I want to do a bunch of flying. I haven't flown out west much at all. I haven't flown out in Utah, and I'd love to go there, and also do a little bit more free flying as well.
Yeah, in Oregon. Yeah.
Oregon, yeah.
Oregon. Come on. I got a bed for you.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody, please make sure you give the show a thumbs up for Jade.
And scan that QR code and give us your money too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you were doing the pyramids, the pictures that we saw on Facebook, were those the only pictures you took? Because you're like one that never runs a camera.
I don't run a camera. Usually, that's the first time I went up with video. And for me, flying is a very personal experience that I don't necessarily want to share with other people. Yeah, it was just. I took lots of pictures, lots of videos. There's a guy named Chris Page, and he's been a pilot in the U.S. for, I don't know, 25 years or so. Anyway, he did a documentary called Into the Wind, probably about 20 years ago, about basically what paramotoring was. And he did another one, Into the Wind 2, which was his adventure flying in Russia, probably a decade or so ago. He was on the trip to Egypt, and he produced Into the Wind 3, which has lots of video and pictures of our excursion there. So,
Interesting. I need to check that out.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you do. Find it. It's online somewhere. Into the Wind 3. Right, Chris Page.
I think I saw part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we've got a video that you're going to play in a little bit. In fact, if you wanted to, you can play that one now. It has some of the travel video from both Egypt and also from Colombia.
Okay. All right. That's all right. Here we go.
Thank you.
Terrific.
Nice
You,
Don't start paramotors, baby.
Wait. Pressure. All the way down. Stand up.
Finally! Left and hold. Good. Now hands high. Give me your shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Stand up. Now walk towards it.
How was that, man?
That was great.
Yeah.
Great.
Gotta watch out for those camels. They spit.
Yeah. Why the long face? I asked the camel.
All right. We got some prizes to give away tonight. I heard we got some prizes.
We have some prizes to give away. Yeah.
All right.
So we're gonna do the first one.
Yeah, let's do a spinning wheel and then we'll get back into it here.
All right, what are we giving away, Steve?
I don't know. I thought you were giving away something.
I am.
I don't have anything. I'm
All right,
poor.
so the first thing we're giving away is a phone tether. So here's what it looks like, and this is on a steel cable. We've got one part that goes into your phone, and this is the way we clip it onto the harness, and it retains the phone just in case you drop it. It'll come right back to you in flight. So this was born out of necessity. I had a phone go through the prop, and this cable stops that from happening. So
I use one of those every time.
you do.
All right. See what we got going on. Sorry if I missed your name. I'm trying to listen and type names at the same time. I think I got everybody. Ooh, it's extra greasy tonight. And watermelon. Big money. Big money. Come on. Ooh, I forgot permanent reset. I'm sorry. I'll get you on next time. Uh-oh. Is it going to be Randy? I think Randy's going to get something. I didn't forget to put him in.
Yeah. Oh. Bill H.
Oh, all right. It says you need that tether too. Excellent.
Bill H.
Oh, nice. Bill, if you want to shoot me your address on Facebook, I'll relay that over, or you can reach out to them directly. Sweet deals. So during the course of, teaching all these people, have there been some like really big standouts, not just in terms that they did really well, but maybe ones that you really got them over some bad humps or where you didn't think they might make up? Because you did teach some big names from Alexis Quintana, Anthony Vella, and Kramer. I think Kramer's super interesting, but
Oh yeah.
Do you have some more stories of just some?
There are so many people. This sport is a healing sport, and a lot of people come to it because of past experiences and past issues. So yeah, Kramer was a huge and is a huge success story, as is Alexis and Anthony Vella and many others. But yeah, it's I don't know. We seem to attract a lot of people who need to be healed in some way or another, and learning to fly a paramotor does that, whether it's with the resurgence community or other folks who have issues in their personal life.
I wonder if that's what plays such a huge factor. I just noticed the paramotoring community, when you get into it and you meet other people and you just say, hey, I fly, more often than not, you're going to gain that instant friend.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter. And it breaks so many barriers from different beliefs, whether religious, political, whatnot, what part of the country, what part of the world you're from.
It binds people together.
It does.
Yeah.
We call it our sky family.
Yeah.
And, traveling around the country, if, you post, hey, where's a good flying site, wherever, you're likely to have people who invite you to come and stay at their place. So, yeah, it's an incredible community of people.
Yep.
It's a weird dichotomy too, because the online community used to be horribly toxic with each other, and people would have never known that if you just go out in the real world and you travel a little bit and just go and meet your active flyers, it's actually the complete opposite of what
it is. You got those keyboard warriors who make it real, who get a kick out of being toxic on there, but I try to ignore all of that stuff.
That's why you never respond to me.
Well, that's not it. So here's the thing, right? This is my day job, and at night I kind of want to get away from it. Same reason I didn't marry a prostitute.
Jeez.
So, what kind of equipment do you train with, Ron? You train with anything particular? Or
Yeah. So
Can you even use equipment? No.
Yeah. So we train with Parajet mostly because they're nice and strong. We train with Evo Aviation. We train with Power to Fly. We sell Mini Plane. We sell SkyMax. There's about 7 or 8 different motor manufacturers that we're dealers for, and there's many wings as well. So I don't think there's no one motor or wing is good for everyone. And offends me a little bit when people only sell one product and try to force that on all of their students. So having said that, though, some are stronger than others. We found that the titanium frame and particularly the geometry of the bottom of the frame of the Parajets make it super strong for training. So we just literally bend the frame back into shape when we need to and get flying again. So
yeah, that's what I ended up doing because my first 30 landings were mostly crashes. And I took one of the hoop sections around a tree and just bent it a little bit, and it was just back to normal.
There you go. We actually 3D print a couple of wheels that are titanium bending. It's a titanium bending machine that we use for getting them back into round.
What do you use to train tandem?
Yeah, so for trikes, we use we've got 2 different trikes for training. We have a Power to Fly Colibri trike. We also have a Fly Products Vertigo trike that we use for training. In terms of tandems, we've got a couple of tandem rigs. They're both Fly Products. We use the Fly Products Flash Cruiser, and we also use the Zenith from Fly Products.
Do they both have the 300?
Yes, they both have one of them has the 300, the other has the Polini 303.
Okay.
Yeah, but I haven't found a trike that I like better than the Fly Products trikes.
Yeah.
Got a lot of great features on them.
Yeah.
The one that we have. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said, and they look pretty.
Well, they do, but
That's important.
Yeah.
They have a cage in the back basically that covers the prop and stops the lines and wing from tangling with the prop. There's also something called a stinger that you can attach to. It's a little wheel that hangs down and contacts the ground. And if you arm it and that wheel comes off the ground, let's say one of the rear wheels of the trike comes off the ground, it kills the engine so you don't roll over.
Huh? Nice.
Or you can set it up so that someone can taxi on the trike without actually flying. We get a lot of trikers who accidentally launch themselves by grabbing too much throttle. This allows them to taxi only without taking off.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Wow, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's great. In fact, we liked it so much we developed our own remote kill switches. So
Chris Gwynn says to hell with the stinger.
To hell with the stinger. Why? Well,
He flies one. He flies a trike.
As an instructor, if I have to say kill,
Yeah.
that's already kills too many.
Yeah.
Right? So the stinger will help do that. But we're always trying to focus on safety. So we developed this is a remote kill switch for our instructors. So while I've got a radio or a walkie-talkie in one hand, I can have this in the other hand. So I can press a button and kill the engine before the student can ever get around to it.
Oh.
And often on their first flights, there's so much going on that they can't reach the switch or they're delayed in reaching the switch. So
Ejection seat.
Ejection seat, yeah. No, but I can kill it before they do damage to themselves or equipment or something like that.
All right, James has got a question. What are your thoughts on so many wing dealers? Are dealers really needed, or is it just a way for schools to make income? Why not purchase straight from the manufacturer to keep costs down?
Yeah, so there's the importers, and there are several for each manufacturer that bring the wings into the country, and then the dealers purchase them from the importers. The importers don't want to deal with the general public. They want some buffer in between, and that's what the dealers are. So if you have problems with a motor or a wing, instead of going back to the manufacturer, you go to the dealer, and they get it all done and they service the equipment. So do you need them? No, you don't need so many. And it does drive the cost up, but it's more on the wing manufacturer side of things and the motor manufacturer side of things that they don't necessarily want you going direct to them, because then they have to service after the sale.
They don't care about us. The manufacturers just don't care about us. They don't even want to talk to us. No, it's a
You won't
sad
get
deal.
anything out of them. All right, let's see what else we got. You got any questions, Steve?
Yeah, what are some of your and maybe this could be things that nobody else really says or talks about, but what are some of your strongest opinions about either the direction we should go as a community within the USPPA of teaching, or maybe just attitudes and things we need to focus on as younger pilots?
Yeah, we've got more and more schools opening up. We've got more and more instructors opening up. And I think that's great as long as they're teaching safely, right? And I think maybe what needs to happen is we need to get the instructors and the school owners together to share ideas and share best practices. That's something that used to be done years ago. We had the beach blast fly-in down in Florida. We'd have training sessions just for instructors and school owners to go over all of their challenges and tips and tricks and things like that. So I would love to see more sharing of information and best practices between schools. It seems to have gotten very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember like at different gatherings seeing like open forums like that so much.
No,
anymore.
they used to do it, but used to do it at EFD back in the day, and we need to do more of that.
Speaking of EFD, what fly-ins are you going to make the rest of the year?
Yeah, so we always go to the Endless Foot Drag in Fredonia, Kansas. That's September 18th, I believe. We also go to the Bad Apples event in Georgia. Those are the two main ones that we're doing. We also helped last year. The guy who ran, Michael Holliday, ran the Endless Foot Drag, and he passed away a couple of years ago, right before the event. And we didn't really know if it was going to go on or not without him. And one of the local pilots, Landon March, stepped up and organized it last year and asked our help in doing so. So that's one that we're going to help run this year as well. So those are the two main ones we're going to be at.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Also, by the way, we started a memorial fund in Michael's honor. And each year they give out a scholarship in his name to someone who is interested in flight or nursing or Kansas State, which is where Michael went. So if you've got any folks out there, if you're at Endless Foot Drag or just want to donate to the cause, that would be terrific.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
An Endless Foot Drag is a fantastic fly-in. If there's a watcher that's never been to one, really wants to get its first taste or whatever, everybody's super friendly. Ron last year, the entrance into the airport, he had the hangar all to himself. He had it set up with music instruments. He brought his paragliding simulator there that you could try. Everything on display, the whole team. So that's a really fun one. I've done it for 2 years. It's been one of my favorites. So if you really want to go to one, check that out. It's in Fredonia, Kansas in the middle of September. And there is a flying calendar on the USPPA website now where you can check out events.
Yeah, it's a small Mennonite town. And we're the big thing that happens to them every year. And they totally embrace us coming and want us to fly over their establishments and land in their parking lots and do all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, a couple of years ago, one lady said she had saved up all year to save up for her tandem ride, right?
Wow.
Right, $100 tandem ride. So last year we brought the VR flight simulator, and let them play for $5 and, and basically get an experience flying. This year, we're reprogramming it so that they can fly over their own city. And so you'll be able to, one of the LZs will be the Fredonia airport. So that'll be pretty cool. Locals can go and fly over their homes and businesses and things like that.
Oh, they'll love that.
Yeah.
All right, question from Duckspit, PPG. What are your thoughts on the Vittoria airbox breaking? Just a bad batch or thinner plastic?
I think he meant to say Vittorazzi and had a weird spell.
Okay, Viserati. Yeah, it says Vittoria.
Yeah. I haven't personally seen a whole lot of that. I've lost one airbox that went through my propeller. It was an Atom 80, and several years ago. And since this is before they tethered them onto the frame, but that's not an issue that I've really had a whole lot of experience with. I think maybe just
nothing common.
Yeah, not very common.
You got to keep it greased and lubed.
Yeah, it's greased and lubed. Yeah.
So I got a question for you, Ron. What is everybody always asks, like, what do you fly, this, that. What kind of wings do you enjoy, and what kind of flying styles do you enjoy?
Yeah, I'm not that acro guy. I'd rather go low and slow over a riverbed, or see a burned out farm and spiral down and check it out. I do like going fast in the air. So my everyday wing is a 17 free ride, and been experimenting with a couple of 16-meter wings as well. I don't have my own motor. I just use a scabby old school motor. I usually pick the one that's the most round at the moment, so it doesn't look like I damaged it. But for wings, 17 free ride. I've been messing around with a 16 Drift Air, and going to try a Viper XC soon as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Spinning wheel time.
Spinning wheel.
What are we giving away?
So we're giving away this time a Lone Star.
All right, decal.
Yeah, vinyl decal for the window for the car.
Oh man, I'm gonna put my name in this. I want that.
Yeah, all right.
No cheaters.
I ain't cheating. I'm participating.
Oh
It's only
no,
fair. This is all about me.
no.
It's the only reason why I do this.
I love that watermelon color.
I know. It's watermelon. Susan Ray colors over wing.
Yeah. Don't tell her.
Oh, I got Jade texting me. I'm gonna tell her to be quiet.
Tell her to go to sleep.
Yeah. Be like, leave me alone, Jade. I got bigger problems than you do.
You are in there. You sorry dog.
I'm not gonna get it.
Well, Angie almost got it. Chuck Dodge.
Oh, it might be Karen.
Oh, almost.
Come on. Yeah.
It is Karen up.
Yeah.
Karen up.
And
Karen up.
let's do one more. This one's going to be coming from Chris Gwynn. And I'm going to spin it.
What's it
Let's
for?
see. It's a Vittorazzi t-shirt.
Okay.
He's got small, large, XL, double XL, extra medium, no medium. They run a little bit small because they're European sizes. So if you do win this, get it a size up, because if you buy like all my Nirvana gear, they're European sizes. So my large is really a medium or extra medium. So this is for a Vittorazzi t-shirt from Chris Gwynn. Ooh, come on. Come on, Nick Griffith. Duckspit PPG. You know who Chris is. You can reach out to him and get your t-shirt. People love their spinning wheel. This is what it's all about. It's not about learning about paramotors.
No, it's about that wheel.
Yes, the wheel.
That's our stickers. I'm just waiting for somebody to come out with the first scratch and sniff one.
So, Ron, what do you do in your time off? Do you have time off?
I don't.
No.
I don't have a lot of time off. We've got one class a month, 10 days, and between then, I'm teaching someone. Right now, we have a couple of guys who fly flat tops who stopped in for some retraining.
Yeah.
So I really don't get a whole lot of time off.
Yeah.
When I get time off, I like to go flying.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't get much time off lately.
What's been some of your most memorable moments, either from teaching or flying, that really gave you that overwhelming feeling of
and I've had several. I was fortunate to be able to teach a couple of single leg amputees how to fly down at Aviator PPG some years ago. Craig Taylor and Sean Michael Horn. And the first time they ran into the air with just one leg was one of the most memorable flights that I've launched a student on. I mean, everyone was crying. And to watch those guys come in and land on their feet on the first flight was pretty incredible. So that's one that's going to stay with me for a long time. Out at Endless Foot Drag, we gave a couple of tandems that mattered, and those will stick with me as well. We had a pilot come up to us and tell us that his 90-something-year-old mother had just gotten a diagnosis of cancer and had less than a month to live. Could we take her up for a tandem flight? Right. So I literally had to lift her out of the truck and put her in the front seat. And she absolutely loved it. She passed away peacefully a week later, telling all of her bingo parlor friends that she's a badass pilot. So that flight, and I wasn't the pilot at the time. I was just helping to get her strapped in. But that was one of my more memorable experiences in the sport too. Another woman there had cerebral palsy, and lifted her out of the wheelchair and Velcroed her in. And her sister flew beside her in another tandem. So that was incredible as well. So I gave a tandem to a woman years ago who was blind, and she told me that she had gone skydiving. So as soon as we got off the ground, she put her arms out to the side and started flying. So wherever she tilted, I would turn. So she's flying, right? And she tilts one way, I go the other, and then she yells at me, "Hey, you're going the wrong way." And I say, "Well, there's power lines in that direction. You just right." So that was a memorable one too, because she was literally telling me where she wanted to go, and she was directing the flight.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
And I gotta know, and maybe I've already harassed you about this before, but as a fellow bald man, how do you deal with the exposure nonstop? Because you never have a hat on or any protection. Like for me, sweat just like runs straight down. And
I turn really dark in the summertime. I've got two daughters. They say that I change race in the summertime, but I've always just tanned really well and haven't really needed the protection. So I'm sure I probably do. But
you keep looking that good, you are going to be marrying a prostitute. I don't even know what that means. Wait. This is going a horrible direction. Do we save it? Save it.
Absolutely has. Someone
what to say to that. Stay away from the prostitutes. I don't know. They're dangerous.
And then within the 10 years you've been flying, have you had any moments that were like really spooked you bad, or teachable moments too from that you could share?
Yeah, and I've been hurt a couple of times in the sport, and that certainly gets your attention, like it got Jade's too. I was dragged around early on in my flying career, and kiting in gusty conditions, and slammed into boulders, and ended up in the emergency room. Occasionally I was also hurt on a tow line where the operator just yanked me up so fast that I just fell to the ground about 30 feet out of the sky and knocked myself out. So those types of things get your attention. And it's an incredibly safe sport, but we have to be mindful every moment of it.
Have you ever had a crash?
Crash. I have. I've had two. Once my motor quit, I had to get into a very small property and didn't make enough S-turns, and found myself at the edge of the property, looking at a fence, 3 wires going across, and then large trees behind it. So put my feet up and fortunately hit the top line, and then ricocheted back and blew out my knees and my motor as well. Probably the most embarrassing one, though, was in front of a brand new group of students at the beach. I like to slalom around the trash barrels down by the shore at Galveston, and I was trying that right in front of a new class of students. In fact, I think it was when Alexis Quintana and her boyfriend Cameron were training as pilots, and got a brand new wing that free ride that turns a lot tighter, and slammed right into the barrels right in front of them, and just floated at thousands of dollars worth of damage, and that was quite embarrassing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's been your worst injury?
Probably getting dragged across the field. I was kiting when I shouldn't have, and it was a soccer field. I was by myself early morning, and the soccer field was separated from a gravel parking lot by these large stone boulders, maybe, 4 feet tall and 6 feet wide. And they had about a 3-foot gap between them. And I got dragged across the field. At that point, I didn't really know how to stop the ride. So I aimed for the gap between the boulders and didn't get it. So slammed up against the side of them. And I was black and blue from my shoulder, on my right side, from my shoulder to my toes for months on end. But I got dragged up and over the rock and tumbled through the gravel parking lot, and a fence finally stopped me. So bruised and battered and bloody, I had to drive myself to the ER to go get an MRI and all of that. So that's the worst that I've been hurt in this.
Man, I didn't realize you got banged up so much.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Want to do one final spinny wheel? Do you have?
Sure. I got one more prize. So I don't know if anyone out there ever nicks or breaks a propeller.
Oh, no, never.
No.
No.
This is what we use to repair them, Q-bond.
Oh.
So it's super glue and powdered carbon fiber that you just.
I didn't know they made such a thing.
Oh yeah. And you can get it on Amazon. But this is what we use to repair props. So this is a Q-bond prop repair kit.
I've been mixing it myself.
I picked a bad week to stop sniffing glue.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Or maybe I will start sniffing glue. Come on, big money. Land on me.
That name better not be in that list.
Mine?
Yes.
I'm going to need it. I think it's going to be Gary. All right, Gary.
All right.
Send me your address, or you can reach out to Ron directly and make sure that gets to you.
All right.
So we are getting near the top of the hour. JD, or not, I'm sorry. Wheezy. I ignore Jade all the time, every time she's on, and I'm just like, hey, Wheezy. And then one time I call
I
you.
know.
Do you have any final questions, Wheezy, from the chat or yourself?
I didn't see any more questions. Oh,
Hey.
hang on, let me just double check again.
Deweese, do you have that other video you could roll?
Oh, yeah, I do have one more video. Sure do. Let's
Yeah,
see.
so it's not all teaching at Lone
That's
Star.
right.
Sometimes we have fun in games. This is kind of a peek behind the scenes.
All right, here we go.
nobody to see.
On a beer. Is on a beer? I think we had like some mussels or something. Yeah. Well, yeah, but you specifically, wanted beer. Really? Yeah.
Life is good.
It's a lot of cheeky shenanigans.
Yes, it is. Yes,
A
it
lot of shenanigans. How much work do you guys actually get done?
is. None whatsoever.
Bunch of
That's a lot.
weirdos.
Fun.
It's very unprofessional. It's
Do
not.
you want to do a little after show or not?
Up to you guys.
We can do a brief one if you'd like to do that. Maybe.
Sure, let's do that.
Okay.
Yep, I just posted the link in the chat. So if you guys would like to hop on, say hi really quick. I don't know how long it's going to be, but it's there if you want it.
Let me just say, everybody, please say some prayers for Jade. Keep her in your thoughts and prayers, please. And keep texting. It helps with her support. I mean, her mental. It helps with her, keeping her bright and cheerful. So she needs.
Jade,
help.
you need to come back. It's not the same without you. I actually have to think. It's just like laying in the background drinking beer.
Yeah.
Cracking
We
jokes.
need you back.
We need you back bad, Jade.
Maybe next week.
You're the glue. You're the glue that I sniff.
Oh, and also let me mention that Rain made some videos, a video from Bad Apples. So please check that out. What's the title of it, Ron? Do you know?
It's called Bad Apples, the movie, and you can go to Lone Star Paramotor YouTube channel and find it on the videos there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I'm
So
gonna post that right now.
yeah. So
So
y'all.
that video is now in the chat. Well, I want to thank you, Ron, for coming on. Again, if any of you are looking for training or need help from afterwards, I've bumped into them many a time, and Ron's got a great team, and they're really your teacher's teachers. So really appreciate what you do, Ron, and always welcoming me and coming on to these things and talking to people. And
No
it's always
problem
a pleasure.
No problem at all. I feel very blessed. It's a wonderful community, and I get to work with some really amazing people. So it's all good.
Tell Mark George we said hello.
I'll tell him that.
Don't tell him I said hello.
He's back at the airport now. He just flew a student a few minutes ago.
Well, tell him I said hello anyway.
You bet. You bet.
All right. All right. Well, hang around. We're going to have a little after show. Anybody wants to come in? Come on.
And if we don't see you on there, we'll see you in the air. Yeah.
See you guys later. Bye.
Nothing is untrue, nothing don't matter. It's all notions of our emotions, of everything we are and what we belong to, how we reach our destination. Shadows fading light. We're caught in burning fire.
Oh, is that-
Yeah.
okay.
Apparently we're in.
Hey guys.
Kramer,
Hey,
I recognize those glasses.
Hey Shane.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi Chris. We are.
How's it going?
Hey guys.